live from the Cactus Creek at Ibri. He is the king of prime time, Ghana's undisputed entertainment laureate, and still the youngest old man in Ghana. Put your hands together, show some love for the indefatigable KSM.
The KSM Show.
Okay, folks, I am tired of working in the studio. My bro. So today I'm going on location. Where am I going? Yeah, Tema. Let's take a round for the commercial break. After the break, I'll be in Tema.
The KSM Show.
Folks, well, show some love to Cabell Laundries, man. Yes. They have now joined and they are proudly associated with the KSM Show. Cabell Laundry, let me tell you something. When you take your stuff to the laundry, some of the complaints you get is a missing button, some stain on the thing, all sorts of things. But with Cabell, you can bet you're going to get a quality job done. Send your stuff to Cabell. If you want to reach them on their hotline, the number is 050-139-4546. So call Cabell Dry Cleaning Service. Is always clean and crisp.
Hey, wait! Go left. Come. Straight. Push up. Hey! Oh, sorry, madam. I not see him.
You kept asking me to come back.
You can't control what will happen, but you can control how you respond to what happens when it happens.
Welcome to SIC Insurance.
At SIC Insurance, we are always ready to come to your aid when the unfortunate happens. Call us today for your motor, accident, fire, burglary, travel insurances, and more. Or visit our website or any of our branches nationwide. SIC, our promises are sacred.
Okay, folks, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. So why don't you start making plans now? And the place to be is Cactus Creek Hotel. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a buffet dinner and live band. There's going to be also action around the poolside. Make your reservations now. Call 055-059-6007. Cactus Creek, the place to be.
Cactus Creek. It is no longer Ghana's best kept secret. It's an open secret. So serene, so heavenly. And the meals? Just like home cooking. Cactus Creek. Your soul will thank you. Call or WhatsApp 055-039-5007. Paul's Fitness Center, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana. Meet the indefatigable captain.
There are three things that I love doing. Number one, workout. Number two, workout. Number three, workout. Workout put mind, soul, and body together.
The captain has spoken.
We're getting busy. Bright lights, yeah, they make me dizzy. Logo Liggy. I just want the Lizzie. It's a Logo Liggy. Uptown, chasing for the Lizzie. Downtown, everybody busy. Logo Liggy. Like be Logo Liggy. I just want the
Paul's Fitness Center. East Legon Branch, Lizzie Sports Complex, Cotton Street, East Legon, Accra, Ghana, 0302-519-675. Kumasi branches, Officers Mess Branch, Denyame, Major Kobina Drive, Kumasi, 0541-871-602. Golden Tulip, Kumasi City Branch, Rain Tree Street, 0322-492-647. Paul's, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana.
Say what lie we for around town.
Essentials has good news for you. If you're in Takoradi and its environs, don't worry. You can pick up a Zipper Essentials jacket at Ruler Unisex Boutique in Anaji, Takoradi, Queen of Peace in Takofo Road. Call or WhatsApp 0544 548766.
The KSM Show.
Thank you. Let me tell you something I enjoy about this, my job that I do. Nobody else in the world has this, what do you call it, opportunity. It is only me, KSM. I have the audacity to come into an office and welcome the boss of the office to my show. Show some love. I'm in Tema at the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, and I'm in the office of the Director General, and I'm going to welcome him to his office. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Show some love for Mr. Michael Luguje. Thank you for allowing me to your office, to welcome you to your office.
You are welcome to my office.
Thank you. Very great office, by the way.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
And folks, you know, every week I talk to somebody that I consider captivating, somebody that I think has experience that should be shared with the world, and this man is one of them. I kid you not, man. The history, unfortunately, we have just 40 minutes, so I'm going to everything that you need to know. But some of the things that you need to know is that this man started here working at the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority as a national service personnel. National service, and it takes few people to stick to it. Loyalty, commitment, perseverance, starting at national service personnel to become the Director General, man. Put your hands together, man. Mike, for me, when I was reading everything, that was one of the things that really fascinated me. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thanks for having me on your show. It's an honor for me.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you very much.
And a pleasure for me as well, and an honor, really.
Thank you.
Let's go back a little bit. I'll come back to your early childhood in a bit.
Okay.
But let me start from now. And as I said in the opening, you did your national service here, and then I don't know, maybe some 20 years later, I don't know, you are a DG. First of all, very briefly, how do you feel about that process? I know the briefly wasn't brief, but telling us, you know, where you started, where you are now, any things you can share with us?
Well, I think there are so many things.
So many, actually.
So many to share, except to say that it's been a journey of, you know, dedicated, you know, hard work, and then respect for all across all levels, and I would say humility. All these three elements, really, I see is what has taken me this far. If I look back at all the people I have worked with, from my national service all the way, the bosses that came my way, I think these are the elements, and when you put all of them together, you can only be able to have all that and travel this journey if God's grace is with you. So I think God's grace is what is the umbrella
the grace
for everything.
is flowing.
Yes, that is it. Yes.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And it's something else too that really tickled my mind reading about your background, is that in the university you actually want to study French and linguistics?
Yes, French linguistics and philosophy. That was the first year combination.
French linguistics and philosophy.
Yeah, so I dropped philosophy after the first year.
Okay.
And then combined French and linguistics and completed.
Okay.
Yes.
And you have ended up now being a big international figure when it comes to maritime organization. Yeah. Reading, you also realize how much French has played in your career growth.
Yes.
First of all, when did you start learning French?
I started learning French in 1985, September, when I entered secondary school Form 1 in business secondary school in Tamale.
That's when you started French?
That's when I started French. And but generally, for some reason, I love languages. So when I have an opportunity to study a language, I get curious about it. And French in particular, when we started in 85, we were fortunate to have a very intelligent national service person, young person who had completed Tamasco. And was in those days, sixth form had national service. You do 1 year national service after sixth form. So he came from Tamasco to teach French in Bisco as a national service person, and he gave us the best foundation we can think of. His name is Alasan. Yeah, he's with the public service now. And he gave us the best foundation we can expect. And I think
Alasan?
Yes, that's his name, Alasan. Wow. His own name is Alasan, his said name is Alasan.
Oh, wow, yes. Wow. Show him some love, man. Wherever he is.
So he was called AA. That was the AA. And he gave us the foundation that those of us who had the flair for languages and were interested, we picked it from there and really took it seriously to make the progress. So I did it at O levels, did it at A levels. I didn't intend to do it at the university, but Legon gave it to me to do. So, because I wanted to read accounting in the university, but that didn't happen. So I had to read the French. So when I had to read French in Legon, of course, I made a lot of attempts to even change my course in Legon.
You didn't want to do French?
No.
You wanted to do accounting?
I wanted to do accounting because I saw that as a profession. Then I could then have the language, the French, I could just build that one to support me in the profession. So I didn't want to just read language as a university course. It wasn't my dream at all. But it turned out that is what I had to do. I can attest to you that it is that French that has played significant roles to prepare me to the point where I became, attractive for the president to appoint me as Director General.
Wow. Well, let's come back to you in French.
Yes.
Because I'm very, very impressed with the way, and for those young ones that are listening, and just to know how important and relevant language can become, because you came here, national service, and it was through French that you were getting more and more exposed to. Let me keep quiet and you give me a little bit of background into how French played a role when you got here.
Okay, first, it's because of the French I even got posted to Ghana Post and Ambassador Authority.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because the Embassy of France and the University of Ghana Languages Department, French department to be precise, they introduced what they called French Outreach Program. And what they did was look at organizations in Ghana whose work was international by nature, and then offer to help them to learn French, functional French, to help them communicate better with their customers. So GPHA was one of those organizations. Of course, there were others, VRA, Military Academy, and the rest.
Okay.
So each year, in the final year, they will come and do an assessment with the department to pick the best students, graduating French students, and then enroll them as national service people so that they do their service under the French program. So they post it to various organizations. Personally, I mean, like I told you, I was born and bred in Pont-Tamale, and I did not even know Tamale, which is just 20 miles away, until I was going to secondary school from one. So I'm a rural person by nature. I want to be in my quiet zone. So my idea was, look, it's national service, let me go back to the northern region or maybe BA where I can ride a bicycle to where I'm going to go instead of having to be looking for cars and all that. So when I was called by the coordinator and told that, well, you are on the French outreach program for national service, so we are going to post you within Accra Tema. I said, look, you are going to give me problems. How am I going to survive? Because I don't have any relative to give me additional, resources to live on. So I wouldn't want to be in that. They said, no, you must be part of it. Well, it's a privilege to be. Because once you came on that program, you were categorized like a teaching assistant at the department who is then assigned. So it was a good thing to do. Okay, first, I wasn't actually supposed to be posted to Ghana Post and Ambassador. I was going to MVTI.
Okay.
So an MVTI, there was a teacher there, a permanent teacher. So I was going to support that person for the year. So when I was told I had no choice, I couldn't refuse. I had to quickly talk to a friend who was my mate in Legon, who lived in Pig Farm, if I could patch with him during the service. And he agreed. So quickly I came to the MVTI area to survey the area. And I said, well, if I'm doing service in Accra, I certainly need a source of income apart from the national service allowance. Because first, the allowance was not coming on time and all that. So I remember I scouted that whole new town area and went to the youngsters. There was the school called the youngsters. I went there to make inquiries that I was going to come back in September, October for national service, and I needed part-time teaching. I remember the principal said, oh, no problem, when you come back, you When you report, come, let's see, we'll find you something to do. So I had hoped that I was going to earn something extra. Then just 2 days to leaving campus, then the coordinator calls me and says, well, sorry, you are not going to MVTI anymore. I said, why? You are going to Tema. I said, Tema, for what? I had made my arrangements for, additional source of income in Accra. What is this about? So, well, you are going to GPHA because the lady we posted there is traveling to study. So she's not going to do nationals. She wants to finish masters and come and do it. So, and MVTI has a permanent teacher. GPHA doesn't have.
Okay.
So we rather send you to GPHA. I was devastated. I said, wow, Tema, what? How am I going to survive there?
Wow. So you're actually devastated.
Devastated. Then she said, oh, don't worry. I mean, I'm told that GPHA, they give some allowance in addition to the national service allowance. So that encouraged me.
That was good news at least.
I said, oh, okay. And that they even have buses that pick staff. So
Okay.
But I had a mate, I did linguistics with Judith. She lived in Tema. So I quickly went to her room and I said, Judith, tell me, what's going on? This is the new arrangement for you. She said, oh, really? Oh, come, let's do service because we live in Tema and all that. And GPHA, even, it's likely when you finish service, they could employ you. So that was like, oh, really? Okay.
So there's a likelihood
that
GPHA may employ you.
They employ me. So I said, okay. Then at least it will not be all bad news like I thought.
Yeah.
So, of course, I reported for duty. And when I reported, I was the fourth person because 3 others had come and done their service before me. But when I got here, the first day I reported to my boss, Mrs. Alistokonu of blessed memory, she told me, look, I think you are a serious young guy. It looks like you are somebody who wants to work very hard. But I'm sorry to let you know that our staff, for some reason, are not interested in the French. So you are going to be very idle. That is the sad part of it. So I would advise you that you ask your coordinators to post you to another organization where you'll be busy because we don't know why they are not interested in the French. Well, so another devastation. I said, look, I wanted to stay in Accra. Now you come and the boss is telling you
that there's no...
the people are not interested. So I asked her, Madam, why are they not interested? She said, well, we didn't go and ask for French. The French embassy, University of Ghana want to help your people to learn. So we can't force staff to go. It should be those who are interested. And then she said, you yourself, you are a languages person. If you don't have interest, you can't force the person. So that is why we are not able to compel people. Your predecessor even had to waste her time helping the secretary here. She had no job to do. Wow, I left this lady's office first day of reporting for duty.
Wow.
And I said, okay. So I called the coordinator. Coordinator says, no job, nowhere else for you to go. Stay there. At the end of your national service, give us a report that GPHA is not interested. Then we can take them out of the program. So quickly, because these curtains are down, you would have seen the office where the headquarters was. I quickly crossed the road to the post office side, started scouting for schools. Because if I'm going to be idle, let me find a school where I can be teaching something. Yeah. There's this school around Committee 2. I went there and I met the head teacher. And then he said, well, okay, you will look at it. I think you can teach so many subjects. You can teach English, you can teach French. So we'll think of something for you. You tell us your schedule in the ports so that we know where to fit you. So at least I knew I wasn't going to be idle. So I came and I said, okay, I probably need to find out what my boss is saying is the case or not. And people don't have the same luck. Let me also try my luck. So what I did was, we're taking the bus from Circle each morning, and you join the bus with staff. Then I'll interact with the staff and tell them, oh, I'm so I am coming to teach the French this year. And then I saw quite a number of some enthusiasts.
Who are interested.
Oh, really? You are coming? When are you starting? We'll register. Then what is going on? My boss said you people are not. So, no, some of them, it's not all of us. Some of us are interested. And some of us, our bosses refuse to allow us to go when it's time to go and learn. They said there is work, don't go. So there are several reasons. Some too, then one guy told me, some of my colleagues said the teachers were not interested. So it wasn't exciting to go. I said, okay, good. So at least I'm getting
the feedback, yeah.
Then when I come to that building each morning, then I can walk into any office on my own. I just greet the secretary and I tell them, oh, I am Mr. So and so, I'm going to teach the French this year. Oh, then a lot of excitement. Then I realized, no.
Wow. Something totally different from what you heard.
From what I heard.
That nobody was interested in French.
Good. Which means maybe the training department, if they had done some contacts to find out why are people not coming, they probably would have gotten it. So after 2 weeks, I went to the office one Monday morning and I said, oh, madam, so how do you usually invite people to register for the course? Can we do that? Let me also try my luck. If the people stop, then I join the thing. Okay. So no problem. It can be. Ahead. So they prepared the letter. Tuesday morning, the letter went out. And by 2 p.m., we had received over 100 registrations.
My goodness.
So,
my goodness.
I still remember.
Well, how shocked were you? Because
from the feedback I got, I knew that reactions was going to be different.
Different from what they had told you.
But I didn't expect those kind of numbers anyway. So I still remember my madam saying, what is so special about French this year that everybody is registering for French? I mean, I'm surprised. We've never gotten this kind of response to French before.
Wow.
And then the classroom could take only 45 people. And we had 120. So she said, look, write to each of those departments to slide down their numbers so that we can contain them. And what she observed that year was also that previous years you had maybe junior staff, secretaries, and the rest registering. But this particular year you had, senior officers, management, some management staff, those in the operations areas, all registering. So she was a bit, something must not be right about this French this year. Anyway, so she then had to go and talk to the then Director General, Commander Duvlo, who was the DG, and said, look, this French program, this is the 4th year, but I noticed a lot of higher level people are interested in this year. So I think that if they start, we need you as DG to come on the day they are going to start to encourage them so that, they will know that management is taking
behind it.
Yeah. And the DG said, oh, why not? We are working in a sub-region that is Francophone, and we are interacting all across the world. So we want to encourage staff who are interested. But then, so she tells me the day they are going to open the class, and that will invite your coordinator from University of Ghana to come, one French woman, Sandra. So when I called and said, we are opening the French class next week, you are invited. So didn't you say the people are not interested and you wanted me to post you? I said, yes, but somehow we managed to talk to them and they have come. So she came for the opening. And at the opening, of course, the DG spoke and encouraged them that, look, take it seriously. If you do well, we would send you to, a Francophone port for you to interact and be able to polish your language. So the guys got very excited about it. And after that, I was asked to speak to the class. And I said, well, in my conversation with people about it, I was told that some of them, when it's time, they register all right, but when it's time to learn, their bosses will not allow them to release them to go. So I want to plead that the DG can talk to the managers that when your staff registers, should release. Others said the teachers were not interested. That side is my responsibility. I'll do my best. But I expect everybody who registered to take it seriously and also learn for us to work together. So the management team left after the opening. I had to do some 20 minutes, warm up with them. After that, I think they noticed, okay, it was going to be an interesting session to move forward. But probably let me just break it and tell you that class started, whereas the first 3 years, nobody could keep a class for even 4 months. I kept the class around the 12 months and started a second stream because there was a lot of interest. But
in your own personal assessment, was it the way you imparted the information? Was it your passion? What do you think?
I think it was. I think they saw a number of things in me. They saw that I had the passion, and I also tried to break it down to the lowest level. In fact, I used all my experience in teaching GPH adults French. I used that to produce a book called French Made Simple for Beginners.
Oh wow! Because
I used a different approach to look at it not just like a lecture, but some kind of interaction, a conversation that takes you from the rudiments all the way, so that you are able to grasp. So they found it very interesting. But some of them told me that the one observation they had about me was that they saw a certain level of humility in me where I interacted. Though people laughed, and you pronounce some of the words and they make fun of it, I just laughed at it. I just laughed at it. And those who felt it was too difficult for them, I took time to break it down, calm them down. So naturally, they bonded. And at some point, you not believe that the students themselves, they were salaried workers. I was a national service person. I was surprised that they took a decision after the 3rd month that every month, when they take their salaries, they contribute and give to me to supplement my salary.
Wow.
Yeah, you think about all those things, and it's very, very touching.
Wow.
It's very touching. because they were happy with the way I did my job
yeah.
and all that. So
it is very touching. It's getting very, very interesting. But let's pause for a short commercial break. When we come back, it will continue. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Cabell Laundry. Let me tell you something. When you take your stuff to the laundry, some of the complaints you get is a missing button, some stain on the thing, all sorts of things. But with Cabell, you can bet you're going to get a quality job done. Send your stuff to Cabell. If you want to reach them on their hotline, the number is 050-139-4546. So call Cabell Dry Cleaning Service. Is always clean and crisp.
Hey, wait! Go left. Come. Straight. Push up. Hey! Oh, sorry, madam. I not see him.
You kept asking me to come back.
You can't control what will happen, but you can control how you respond to what happens when it happens.
Welcome to SIC Insurance.
At SIC Insurance, we are always ready to come to your aid when the unfortunate happens. Call us today for your motor, accident, fire, burglary, travel insurances, and more. Or visit our website or any of our branches nationwide. SIC, our promises are sacred.
Okay, folks, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. So why don't you start making plans now? And the place to be is Cactus Creek Hotel. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a buffet dinner and live band. There's going to be also action around the poolside. Make your reservations now. Call 055-059-6007. Cactus Creek, the place to be.
Cactus Creek. It is no longer Ghana's best kept secret. It's an open secret. So serene, so heavenly. And the meals? Just like home cooking. Cactus Creek. Your soul will thank you. Call or WhatsApp 055-039-5007. Pulse Fitness Center, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana. Meet the indefatigable captain.
There are 3 things that I love doing. Number 1, workout. Number 2, workout. Number 3, workout. Workout put mind, soul, and body together.
The captain has spoken.
We're getting busy. Bright lights, yeah, they make me dizzy. Luguje. I just want the Lizzie. It's a Luguje. Uptown, chasing for the Lizzie. Downtown, everybody busy. Luguje. Like we Luguje. I just want the
Pulse Fitness Center. East Legon Branch, Lizzie Sports Complex, Cotton Street, East Legon, Accra, Ghana, 0302-519-675. Kumasi branches, Officers Mess Branch, Denyame, Major Kobina Drive, Kumasi, 0541-871-602. Golden Tulip, Kumasi City Branch, Raintree Street, 0322-492-647. Pulse, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana.
Has good news for you. If you're in Takoradi and its environs, don't worry. You can pick up a Zipper Essentials jacket at Ruler Unisex Boutique in Anaji, Takoradi, Queen of Peace in Takofo Road. Call or WhatsApp 0544-548766.
KSM Show.
Thank you. We're back and we are the headquarters of the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, and of course we are hanging out with the DG, Michael Luguj himself, and amazing stories he's telling us about French. And I want to move it a little bit because of a time limitation. But this French has done you so good, and how you're able to get people involved through your passion and everything. That's just even the beginning. Because as we know, the Ghana Ports is also a member of the larger operation where we have French-speaking countries.
Yeah.
And you have done some major work when it comes to French and French translation in that. Tell me a little bit about what you've done with French when it comes to the larger market.
Okay, I think the like you said, Ports and Harbors Authority Ghana is a member of the International Association of Ports and Harbors. It's a member of the Port Management Association of West and Central Africa. The headquarters is in Nigeria. And then, of course, it's a member of the UN system itself too, of International Maritime Organization. Yeah. Within this context, and then also as ports, we've opened our doors to our landlocked neighbors, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and they use our ports for their imports and export business. So French becomes extremely important, that at least we should be able to have some communication capability, or when documents come, we should get them correctly translated for us to be able to respond to the customer's needs or our sub-regional neighbors' needs. So naturally, when I came in with the French, apart from teaching, I was also doing translation for the organization. And so anytime we had guests from any of these Francophone countries, I had to be the point of contact to ensure that my team, my DG and his team at that time are able to understand what their colleagues came to do. And I think that really put me in a lot of limelight as a service person. I got known to top management at that time because of the French. And I didn't just got known to them, but they also got quite impressed by the level at which I was able to really get familiar with the port vocabulary, and I'm able to translate it anytime the opportunity came. And everybody got satisfied when they met. They left satisfied that at least they understood each other and got the solutions they needed to. So that alone, they'll finish, and then when they go to lunch, then the Francophones will be telling the management at that time, oh, this is your boys. Some of them were asking whether they hired me from a translation organization.
Really?
So no, it's our own. So that's good, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So naturally, every management and every director general that came suddenly just had interest in, the fact that I was one staff that was quite making a significant contribution. So the focus has been on, okay, how can we grow this person to remain within the system as a significant part of the organization into the future, especially because of our membership. So as I was within this context, the Port Authority certainly felt that it was important for them to groom somebody to head the sub-regional body, the Port Management Association of West and Central Africa, into the future. And I think I'll give that credit to Mr. Ben Osumensa, who came in 2001. He came and he was interested in maybe because of his background. He came from Black Star Line, started consultancy and trained the maritime sector in Ghana and across. Then went to the UN. He was the regional coordinator for West and Central Africa of the International Maritime Organization. So he came into GPHA with that international perspective and felt that it was important to also lift Ghana and GPHA to the highest level of the port, the maritime sector. And so when he came with the intention of trying to identify any person or persons that can be groomed to ensure Ghana reached that level. And so when he came, I remember, in fact, maybe as I did my national service and finished, my employment itself took some time. I finished service 98 August, but I had to work with our salary all the way till December.
Wow.
Until I was employed in January 99 by Engineer K.D. Boatin. He's also on retirement now, but he's doing consultancy. And I remember after my interview, when I got my appointment letter and I went to see him to thank him, he told me, look, you're a very intelligent guy, doing very well. We are happy with you. Just be calm and work hard. I think you have a good future in this organization. We felt we should go and train you immediately in port management so that you can become a bilingual professional. But since you are young, you have some time. But trust us that we will definitely develop you. Okay, this was 99. Then 2000, December, I think the 2001, there was change in government. And so K.D. Boatin had to leave. I remember when he was leaving, I said, wow. So the DG who knows me very well and had plans for me is gone. Well, so I'm on my own now. I'll just survive and live the rest of the time. Then Osumensa comes. And the same French got me to meet him because we had all manner of people coming. Oh, then I'll go. I'll go and sit in front of Owusu Mensah and just I listen, I take my notes, I do my talking. I never knew he was paying attention to me and had his own ideas. So when he observed me a number of times, then he started asking other managers some questions about me. They gave him the history and said, okay. So 2001, end of year, when he had meeting with his management, he told them, look, we needed to develop somebody to be able to head the Ports Association of West and Central Africa in the name of Ghana.
Port Association of West and Central Africa.
Yeah, Port Management Association of West and Central Africa. Because they created in 72, we are founding members, we have been regular all the way, and we need to also present a candidate there to head that organization. So, of course, he had a chat with his managers, he dropped my name, and somehow he received quite a lot of endorsement. Everybody said, oh, no, we think he's good. So he was happy that, okay, he didn't make a mistake of identifying me. So the next thing then was what kind of preparation was going to be in place. I remember nobody told me about it. There's one manager who called me. That manager also later became Director General, Mr. Gali. He was corporate planning, chief at that time. So he calls me to his office and says, look, I've never met you, but this is the kind of what happened, the conversation that happened among management, and your name came up, and the feedback was so positive that I have a feeling if I don't talk to you, you probably would derail and disappoint people from the kind of perception they have about you. So this is the thinking of everybody, that you are very good, you know your job, you are very hardworking. So make sure you don't deviate, stick to that, and I'm sure the future will be a very good one for you. So I just thanked him and walked away, and then continued. So 2002 came, then 2003, of course, we had to, Owusu Mensah said he wanted to open an office in Burkina Faso to help us market the ports. And so I think that was one of the biggest tests for me, because questions came as to whether to hire interpreters in Burkina Faso to do 3 days of interactions with ministers, with shippers and everything. And they said, oh, I can do the job, so there was no point. So we went for 3 days. I had to handle different stakeholders. At that time, Honorable Kweku Adjumamenu was Deputy Minister for Transport. He went with us. So then he asked Owusu Mensah, this gentleman, which interpretation firm did you hire him? So, no, he's our staff. So, really? Oh, no, you need to give him special commendation for what he's done. So when we came back, Owusu Mensah had to tell his management that, look, apart from just a letter for this gentleman, think about some money we can give to him just to show appreciation. I didn't know. I was there, and then I get a letter with some money in addition to it. I was,
you can't complain.
So when I came up to meet Owusu Mensah to thank him for that, he said, no, you deserve it. You did your job well. Everybody was happy. Minister, everybody was very happy. So just keep up that way. Then he asked me, but, what are your plans? Because at that time, in that 2003, the Port Management Association's Secretary General position was vacant.
It was vacant then?
And he already wanted me to go at that time. And I said, no, I don't want to go now, because I need to do a master's in the industry so that at least I have a better. And so, then why didn't you apply? Don't you apply to Sweden, World Maritime University in Sweden? And I said, oh, yes, I would. When the time comes, I will apply. He said, fine. When you apply, let me know. So that year, I applied with one other gentleman. He's on pension now. When we applied, the school replied to say, we've given you admission, but there's no fellowship, scholarship for you. If your employer is ready to pay, then you let us know. When the letter came and Owusu Mensah saw it, he said they should pay for me to go. But I was the youngest between the two of us.
Wow.
So his management said, why the person who still has more years to apply for fellowship should have rather wasted. So why are you asking us to pay for him and leave? He said, no, I know why I'm saying that. Pay for him to go. It became a whole institutional issue. What's all this special favors for this guy? But he knew what he was doing. So I went to the...
So they paid?
They paid fully for me to go. I went there. It was a 17-month program. Then when I was finishing that program, Owusu Mensah, still the Director General, decides that he wants to create the office of a special assistant. And he wants me, when I come from school,
to come and take that office.
To be in that office. Of course, his management still didn't understand. What is so special about this young man that first they should pay for him, he's coming and all that. So I remember when I came back, And I went to his office. He told me, listen, don't get swollen-headed by that title. I'm putting you there to learn. That's it. So I'm not going to promote you. You are just going in there to sit there and learn. And at that time, he told me, every letter that came to his office and was leaving, I have to see it before it goes to all the managers he was sending. So at that early time, I got to know what kind of documentation, what kind of reasoning goes out there, those kind of things. And I was to follow up. He asked the manager to do something. I should follow up and make sure the feedback comes. That was my job. You know, so as I told him, well, I don't really care about promotion. It's a privilege. Let me go in there and get the job done. So I went there October 2004 and did 2005, 2006, 2007, January. Then there was a request through the Ministry of Transport by the International Maritime Organization for a regional coordinator for their office in Accra. Of course, Owusu Mensah was the first. He opened that office as regional coordinator. And when he got appointed, he resigned. A certain lady, Captain Georgina, she was appointed, but she left in 2007, early. So the IMO wrote to Minister for Transport, Professor Ikumfi, at that time that, look, can you second somebody to occupy that office for us, whilst we take time to go through the process to recruit a replacement. But then we prefer that that person who is coming speaks French, because the office involves countries that don't speak English. Okay. So when the letter came to Professor Amir Akumfi, he sent it to Owusu Mensah and said, well, you open that office. If you don't get a candidate, they will close it. And I don't think you want that to be. So when Owusu Mensah looked at it, he said, well, when he was regional coordinator, he had challenges because he couldn't speak French.
Okay.
And in this GPHA, the person who can fill that position is Michael. So he announces to his management that, look, this is the request that came, so I'm going to second Michael to go. Some of the managers said, oh, but he's playing his role very well, supporting you. Why? And he said, oh, but because he's helping me, he shouldn't grow. He has to grow. He should go. Somebody else can come. And I think that is unique, because any ordinary person would have said, oh, because of the role he's playing with me, let it go. But he was prepared to let me go, because he felt there was a path I needed to grow on. And so I went there. The expectation was that after 6 months, the IMO would recruit somebody. But after 6 months, the IMO rather wrote back to say they are happy with the way I was doing the job.
So stay there.
So if government could just release me to stay there, they would take over my salary and be paying, Of course. Naturally, then they quickly approved and said I should. But I was on secondment from GPHA. So I still remained the GPHA staff, which meant any time I was done with the IMO, I could come back and continue here till pension. So I did 5 years with the IMO. Owusu Mensah left. Then his successor, Mr. Nestor Gali, the one who was the corporate planning chief, who called me and advised me that this is the feedback. He became the Director General.
Oh, wow.
At the time, the vacancy for Secretary General for the Ports Management Association was due again. So he called me and said, look, you know that our plan for you wasn't to go to UN. You had to go to this association. So it's time. You've done 5 years, you've served UN, and I've come back so that I will present you. So I came back, they presented me, and then, of course, that association is made up of 20 countries, ports from 20 countries. So they elect, you campaign with your candidate, then they set up a day and elect, they vote. So the majority you get, your candidate wins. So my port authority had to campaign, go around the ports to campaign for me. But an interesting thing happened, and I think I really admire GPHA for that kind of situation, where by the time I had filled my forms and I was ready for campaign to start, Mr. Gali had reached retirement and left. So Engineer Richard Andamo became Director General. But he also started from GPHA from beginning. So he also knew the history. And so when I came and he said, oh, look, we have to make sure we win this thing. So we are all for it. Then he sets up a delegation that was going to go around the ports. And he makes Mr. Gali his immediate, predecessor, the head of delegation to go around the ports. And when we went to a couple of the ports, that was unique for them in Africa, because most of the time there is some acrimony between the outgoing and the incoming Director General. So you mean there's a new DG? Wow. And he made you head of delegation to campaign? I mean, Ghana, that's what you planned, an example for us to learn from. They felt it was very, very, very impressive. That
they hadn't seen that kind of collaboration.
No. It hasn't happened before. because usually it's acrimony, you don't talk to each other and all those kind of things. So, and by virtue of Mr. Gali leading the delegation alone, already gave us even an upper hand. Because they were like, I mean, that shows that if somebody is coming from there, then the person definitely has something. Right. Finally, we went for the elections and we won 75%. So I moved to Nigeria to start that job 2012 August for the first 4 years. And 2016, I was supposed to go, they advertised the position so that I'll apply for re-election. And when they advertised, nobody applied. So I was the only person. So they had to re-elect me by acclamation for the second term.
Unopposed?
Yes. And so I was 2 years in my second term when, by the grace of God, His Excellency the President chose to appoint me to come and serve as Director General of...
Show some love, man. Wow.
So the French played in all these things because that association has 11 out of the 20 countries. 11 of them are French-speaking.
Okay.
And I remember when the manifesto the presentation you had to do just before the elections in Lagos, I chose to prepare my presentation in French. So that just shocked the Francophone. But this is supposed to be an Anglophone, so how come he's able to? So I did my communication in French, and it was being interpreted into English to the English-speaking people.
Wow!
And so when it finished, they said, I mean, this one we don't even need to ask questions whether he can do the job because he'll be talking to us in our language and everything. And so when I won and took over, the Francophones gave me a lot of support. Because you meet them and you are talking and they see you as one of them. And we're able to really transform that association significantly from a very miserable state to top level by the time I was leaving. Yeah, so I think it's been, of course, whilst I was there, we also had the Pan-African Association for Port Cooperation, which was supposed to be, because we had 3 sub-regional port associations in Africa. West and Central Africa, Eastern and Southern, and then Northern Africa. So UN Economic Commission for Africa said, you need to create an umbrella body that can bring the 3 sub-regional bodies together at least once every year or every 2 years, so that you know what you are doing in terms of policy direction and all that. So when I went, whilst I was Secretary General of the West and Central African Association, I was also given the additional responsibility as Executive Secretary of the Pan-African Association for Port Cooperation. So I combined those 2 roles for about 3 years.
Really?
Before we handed over to Eastern and Southern Africa. And of course, when I was appointed to come here in July 2018, for this association which I was Secretary General, the chairmanship rotates every 2 years. And Ghana was already on the board. Ghana has served about 8 years on the board, and it was time for Ghana to take over as chairman in 2019. So I left as Secretary General in 2018, and just 1 year down the line, I went back and took over as chairman of the association. And we were to do 2 years and handover. Then because of COVID, things didn't work. So we ended up doing 4 years as chairman. So we handed over last November to Gabon. And that whilst last year too was ongoing, then the vacancy for Vice President for Africa of the International Association of Ports and Harbors also came up. And I think all the African ports chose to elect me as the Vice President for Africa. So I'm currently Vice President for Africa of the International Association of Ports and Harbors.
So that is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I mean, but all of that, all these things is because of the French. So when I sat back and looked back, I said, well, so this French that I hated so much when they gave me the admission, So when I get young people saying, they gave me this course, I don't like it. Then I sit them down and tell them my story. I said, listen, if that's what you have, go and give it your best.
Wow.
Learn it so well that you can tell anybody that this is the course you read.
Wow.
And you'll be surprised what that will give you. Because if I got disappointed and just walked through Lego, I'll come here and they give me assignments I wouldn't be able to perform. And now, they are like that. The first 3 came, they were like that. So let him also go. But because I gave it extra attention and tried to make sure that if I graduated as a graduate of French, I should be confident about it, and anybody I provided the service to should also be happy that they engaged the right person. That was my objective in Lagos. So if I took my student loan, I went to bookshops to buy bilingual books in business, economics. So I was getting a lot of terminologies, very familiar by the time I came here. So when translation came with commercial letters to translate, I translated very easily into English as if I was a practitioner. But my colleagues who just focused on the grammar and the things and came out, you go into a commercial environment, and even in English, the language is strange to you. So you first have to know the meaning in English before you can look for its French equivalent. But in my case, by the time I came here, anything commercial, because in business secondary school, I had done commerce, economics, and accounting up to A level. So that part of the commercial language was very, very, very familiar to me. And then I knew its equivalents in French. So anything that had to do with that area, I didn't have a problem. Wow. And that helped. So
and it is quite interesting that you're doing French, but it wasn't something that you thought you could concentrate on.
No.
And talking about building a career, French was not a part of it.
No, not at all. I wanted to become an accountant.
Accountant.
Yeah.
And now French has taken you to a place where you probably wouldn't have reached as an accountant.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, if I would have reached, it would have taken a longer time. In any case, I came to this place for national service with colleagues who read BSc admin accounting. One was in audit for service, the other was in finance. They both finished and left because there was no vacancy for them. But I read French and I finished and there was vacancy for me. So it meant that you don't just get into, in life, what I've learned about all this is that, we are human beings and we believe we have capabilities and choices. But we need to always remember that we are first and foremost the creation of God. And He has His path for everybody. And unfortunately, He won't look at you and tell you this is what your tomorrow is. And because He won't do that, you don't restrict Him to what you want to do. Give yourself options.
Keep it open.
But just be open to, so that whatever path He puts you in, you give it your best.
Fantastic.
And then you can find your destiny. I think that is the experience I've seen.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's the experience I've seen.
Open-mindedness, keeping your options open.
Yeah. And then be prepared that whichever path you find yourself in, give it the best.
I hope you guys are listening, man. This is why we talk to people like this, man. This is amazing advice. Yeah. Keep the options open. Don't restrict yourself to any one particular path. No. Just keep it open.
Keep it open.
And if any diversion should come through, go through it with diligence and focus.
Exactly. That is it. That way, you don't get frustrated. If this doesn't work, at least you can try this one. But where you are restricted and it doesn't work, you could get so frustrated that you think life has no meaning again. When in natural sense, your God-chosen path is just next door. You wouldn't have said it.
Show some love for Michael Luguj, man. Now, it's getting very, very exciting. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up here. And I'm thinking we are going to come back, man. Maybe I'll invite you to our location at Cactus Creek next time. Then come there, let's hang out, then we talk more.
It will be
because it's been such an exciting start, and I know there's more to say. But I've had an absolutely phenomenal time with you. I've learned a lot, trust me. As old as I am, I'm still learning, and this is like been fascinating. What do you call that? Life skills training that you've taught me. So thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you too very much for this opportunity. I think it's a privilege. It's a privilege, and if I'm writing my book, I'll come for your help.
Oh, show some love, man. Folks, very, very exciting. And from the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority with the Director General, Michael Luguj, I am signing off. And I'm saying until we come back next week, KSM saying from Tema, we are out of here.
Thank you.